أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning and be to you madam. So today I am going to present to you task 3 presentations for EDUP 3143 which is Sociology in Education. So before we start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Ahmad Zaim bin Ahmad Zainul Abidin from PISMP Intake 2021-2026. So I am from Tesla 1. So you are going to um, embark or we are going to evaluate the recent change in our country education, which is Malaysia, and how it's really with the social mobility of the students. As we know that um, education is actually giving us opportunity, not us, but basically all of the Malaysians an opportunity to change their whole life. Like a poor children can change their fate into um, to have a better life, a better social economic growth, and something like that. So today we are going to talk about these kind of things. Hope you can hear until the last. So today we are going to focus on um six main points. The first one is the policy reforms in Malaysia. The second one is quality of education. The third one is equity in education. The fourth one is the access to higher education. The fifth one is impact on social mobility, and the last one is the challenges and future directions. And we are going to make the conclusions based on these six main points. So moving on, we are going to start with an introduction. When we are going to evaluate or speaking about something, we have to know deep what we say in Malaysian. It is bahasa Melayu. We are going to say tak kenal maka tak cinta. So we are going to know what is education. Education is a path. It is crucial for helping individuals to move up the social ladder and improve their lives. It provides people with the knowledge and skills needed to succeed in the workforce and contribute to the economy. Without educations, we realize that many people will be stuck in low paying jobs with limited opportunities for advancement. Additionally, education promotes innovation and productivity, driving, uh, driving economic growth and prosperity for society as a whole. In short, investing in education is very essential for Malaysia to build a more equitable society and fueling economic development. So basically, it's highlighting about the importance of education, so we can actually improve the socio-economic development of our um, citizens. So moving on to the next point, the first main point, which is so for the first point, policy reforms in Malaysia. There is a policy reforms has which had been launched by the Ministry of Education on 2023. It is the Malaysia Education Blueprint MEB 2013 until 2025. So the MEB focuses on enhancing the quality of teaching and learning, expanding access to early childhood education, and strengthening vocational and technical education. It also emphasized the importance of holistic development, including critical thinking and digital literacy skills, which is needed in nowadays work, and also it is one of the most essential skills, the most one of the most important skills that needed to be implemented into the students. So if we want to talk um, as generally, policy reforms of MEB is really important, really important actually, because these policy reforms, this MEB is actually um, one of the aspirations because at the launch event of the MEV on 2022 annual report held at Pustaka Rajatun Uda in Shah Alam, our Education Minister, Dr. Fadlina Siddiq, shared that there are five system aspirations incorporated within the MEB, which are centered on access, quality, equity, unity, and efficiency. So basically, MEB is really important. The implementation of MEB in Malaysian education is really important, where when it comes to social mobility, because MEB is actually, for your information, MEB is focusing on giving the students, all the students, no matter where they are from the rural areas or from the non-rural areas, they are going to get the same amount of uh, educations, the access, and the knowledge, the skills. We, the MEB want to make sure that all of the students are going to get what they deserve, not because of their economic, but because they must um, given the opportunity. They must get this kind of opportunity to make it fair. So this is one of the proof that I found in an article of the Star, where the teacher Aidal Mustafa explaining to her students about the importance or highlighting about the annual report of the education's Malaysia Education Blueprint. So this teacher highlighting um, the main more important thing about MEB, why MEB is very important, and why we as a teacher, we must really deeply know the the objective of MEB in Malaysia. So we as a teacher, if we understood the rationale behind the MEB implementation in education, we must know that MEB emphasizes access, where it's stating that every Malaysian child has the right to equal educational opportunities to enable them to reach their potential and equity, which means Malaysian educations are going to provide the best education to every child regardless of their gender and socio-economic background, showing and this show the ministry commitment to bridging the gap that exists in education. As you can see, this is the enrollment rate on 2013 and also 2018 in comparison. I just want to make a comparison. So MEB is implemented in Malaysian education on 2013, and this is the the comparison 2013 and 2018, which you can see that the preschool, the primary school education level, the secondary school, upper secondary, post secondary, tertiary, um, most of the enrollment rates show a positive result after the MEU is implemented, which show that actually Malaysian education have changed a lot from giving the opportunity to only the chosen students from the higher class into giving the 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 um, giving the educational opportunities, the equal educational opportunities to all of the students from the rural area, from Sabah and Sarawak, from any any gender, any races, from orang asli, um, and a lot more. So this is one of the we can call it as um, one of the proof that education system in Malaysia is actually always changes to make sure that our child, our citizens, our youngster are going to get the thing that they deserve. And this is to relate with the first first picture, so this is the attrition rate of Malaysian education from UNESCO, which is the attrition rate is actually showing a positive result, in my opinion. Because out of school children from 2010 up to 2017, it is decreased, while out of school adolescents is actually, I'm not sure if it is a positive or negative ones. Because on 2017, it reached 200, 205,877 per. I don't think you need a percent, but this is the rate. So in my opinion, it's actually, honestly, when it comes to education, there are always be pros and cons. So this is one of the pros. The first one is the pros. The first the first article is uh the proof of the pros of the MAB, and this might be the cons of the MAB, because no matter what you try, no matter what is the MAB blueprint, sometimes it's depending on the teachers. It's not only about the policy. So I think for the first point, this is uh, already enough to show that actually policy reforms in Malaysian education is really give an impact on social mobility. Moving on to the second point is quality of education. So improvement in the quality of education involve updates to the curriculum, professional development for teachers, and an integration of technology into teaching and learning practices. And these enhancements aim to provide students with a relevant and effective education. So when we are talking about the quality of education, where it's highlighting about the updates to the curriculum, as we already know, there is a lot of changes in the past years. Like UPSR is there is no more UPSR, no more PT3, and it changed into UWASA, and just a few weeks ago we just changed from TP to um using uh score percent. We don't use TP anymore. So these kind of changes actually depending on Ministry of Education, what they are going to discuss and think about what is the best for our students. So another example of when we're talking about quality of education is that the dual language programs. So we know that dual language program is actually allow students to learn mathematics subjects or science subjects in both Bahasa and English, and this actually can improve their proficiency in both languages, and it enhance their global competitiveness. To uh, to support my point, actually there is a lot, too many proof that you can find in Facebook, in Instagrams, in YouTube, where Malaysian students are actually competitive in terms of technology integration. Um, as an example, the SPP students, the MRSM student, and also it's not only applied to these kind of elite schools. Sometimes it came from just a normal school. So this is a proof that the quality of our education is actually enhancing from years to years. But sometimes there is issues. One of the issue is that the digital literacy among teachers and students. Because um, the current issue that we face right now is that many of the senior teachers are having difficulties um, to give online resources to their students compared to the young teachers. These young teachers have the digital competencies. So they are really will really know what they are going to do compared to the old teachers. So this is one of the article that I found to show that the quality of education in our school is actually quite good because among as you can read from the article, among them are the Comprehensive Special Model School Year 9 K9, Comprehensive Special Model School Year 11 mean for all Rangali students. So these show that our education systems is giving an equal opportunities. And also Sekolah Bibina Jalan Jalan Kasih, SBGK, School in Hospital, SDH, Integrated Schools, and Henry Gurney Schools. So these kind of schools are aligned with UNESCO Education for All concept. So this shows that the quality of our education is really improving from not having this kind of school until they have this kind of schools. Because as you can see from the article, it says it is one of the efforts to provide access to formal education from preschool to upper secondary in a conducive environment for street and marginalized children in cities. We know that students, not only adults, but students came from different backgrounds. Some students coming from a rural areas with a problem with economic status. Some of them is very high from coming from a high class, but don't they don't know how to hone their skills. So this is really important. This is why we say that equal opportunities is very important. No matter what, who they are, where they are from, children deserve this kind of education because we want to make sure the social mobility in our country is actually improving. So for the third one is equity in education. Equity in education focus on providing equal opportunity for all students regardless of their socio-economic background or geographic location. It involves initiatives to address disparities in resources, infrastructure, and educational outcomes. So one of the example is the School Improvement Plan (SIP), where it targets underperformed schools by providing additional resources, training, and support to improve student achievement. And this can help to reduce the gap between high performing and low performing schools. Because we know in Malaysia there is a lot of schools, too many schools. If you want to search, make a research, actually there is a lot of schools. So each school have a different performance. Some schools have a very high performance for a long time, like 2 decades or 3 decades, and some school just um in between. We can call it as advanced, intermediate, and low, something like that. We can classify these schools. But this is the thing. This is the things because when we talk about the current issue in equity in education, some of the we call it as the hot topic is about um the quality education between urban and rural areas. Because until now there is a limited infrastructure, inadequate facilities, and teacher shortage in rural schools, which hinder the students' educational opportunities. This is why the Institut Pendidikan Guru Malaysia trying to recruit more young teachers into the education, into the field of education, because we want to provide students the with the rights opportunities in learning. So this is very important. Equity in education is really important. We must put in our minds that this equity in education is really important for our students and how it changed the education system in Malaysia. So this is from the Star article, and it came from the education, the Ministry of Education about equal access mean, where it highlighting about the inclusive education, indigenous communities, early childhood education, technical and vocational education and training (TVET), and also digital inclusion. So this is what it means. The Ministry of Education also highlighting about the importance of um, equity in education. We want to make sure that the students have digital inclusion, digital literacies, learning about because nowadays the chance I don't remember actually what we are going to call these gens right now. The term of the gens because there is Gen Alpha, Gen Z, and something like that. There is another name for them actually, but they grow up with technology. So we as a teacher, we must give an inclusive education that align with what they are facing in their daily life. So equal access, equity in education is really important because some students have a different socio-economic background, and we, as a teacher, we must know how to um, adapt our teaching into the classroom to make sure that the students get the equal opportunities. It is our job as a teacher, as a future teacher. And for the next one is access to higher educations. Increasing access to higher education involve initiatives such as scholarships, as we already know, financial aid programs, and vocational training opportunities. And this initiative aim to remove barriers to tertiary education and ensure that all students have the opportunity to pursue further studies. As an example, the Malaysian government offers various scholarship and financial aid schemes, as we already know, such as the PTPTN, to support students from low-income families in pursuing higher education. And in my opinion, it might be better if the Ministry of Education and also the Kementerian Pelajaran Tinggi trying to find another solution to help the students. Because the current issue of this access to higher education is actually that there are many students from low income households is having difficulty in learning because the rising tuition fees and living expenses make it challenging for them. It's not also applied to university students, but also applied to the secondary and uppers second it actually applies to the primary school students also because believe me, the reality is many students is having difficulties until now. Until now, no matter how many changes we have made to the policy, to the policy, to the approaches, we are still are going to face these students with different socioeconomic group. Because some students um coming from high class, sometimes the parent of the student itself is more rich than we teachers, but also some of the students um, kais pagi pakai pagi, kais petang makan petang, if we call it in bahasa Melayu. So access to higher education is not also applied to the university students, and it also applied to the primary school students. We also know there is a lot of um, support from the Ministry of Education itself, duit bantuan wang ihsan, um, the zakat, fitrah, something like that, and also the funds from anyone from the PIB, something like that. So we as the adults must know how to um, deal with these problems, in my opinion. So this is just statistics, or we could say that a proof of higher education in Malaysia from 2010 on to 2021. You can see the total of um, each of the public, university, private, and polytechnic, and also community college. The sum up, of the students that pursue their studies in these four types of institutions. So as you can see, the latest one is 2031, which is there is 1,207 and 131 among the Malaysians who actually pursue the studies. So this shows that education system in Malaysia actually um, giving the opportunities, actually giving in the big scopes, it's giving more opportunity for the students. This is just a proof actually. So we are going to look at um, another statistics. I think that's and this is also the key higher education intake indicators from 2016 until 2020. As you can see, this is the graph. But the thing that's worrying me is actually it's kind of uh, I don't know, positive negative, because nowadays in reality students are tend to not pursue their studies. So I don't know. So maybe one of the one of the current issue that I had already mentioned is about the tuition fees and living expenses. Students might choose work of study. So one of the challenges of for us as the future teachers. We must get ready and implement in student mind the importance of studying. Yes, it's true that working, uh, having money can help you, but having a very good um, education background is also important for your growth as humans, not for adults, but also it's important for the children actually. So this is the next one is graduation rate of Malaysia education systems, which is increasing from 2016 to 2020. So this proof that education system in Malaysia is actually advancing, and we should. I really think that we should um, keep this going on. Teachers, future teachers, we must put we must put in our minds that this is a proof. This is one of the success criteria that we already achieved, and we must make sure this graduation rate is always high. Because what they might not remember us as primary school teachers, but the thing that we have teach them, they are going to bring onto the end of their life. And also the last one is the number of yearly output from 2010 until 2021. But the only reason that um I'm sorry, wait a minute, let me see the statistic first. Ah, in 2021 we are having a pandemic COVID-19, but the positive thing is that this is one of the highest output, which is 3238,104. Is very high compared to other years. So this shows that our education systems is really good, really strong, because at that time we are having a pandemic COVID-19, lockdown, something stuff like that. So it is really important for us as a teacher. We must know that access to higher education is really important. Really important. Last but not least, the impact on social mobility. The impact of education reforms on social mobility can be measured by factors such as enrollment rates, academic performance, and post-graduation outcomes. Positive outcomes indicate that education is serving as a pathway to upward mobility and economic empowerment. So This proof is actually has been shown by me earlier. So as you can see, one of the examples is that I have made some research, and the research studies have shown that students who receive a quality education and access high level of education are more likely to secure better paying jobs and improve their socio-economic status. Thereby, it contributes to social mobility of Malaysian itself. So, the good education system, the policy reforms, it relate with each other, and this can create a very positive impact on social mobility. As you can see from the previous statistics, from the previous pictures, from the previous thing that I have shown, it proves that our education system is actually, we can say it is good, but as we always say, there will always be a gap where we can improve. There must be some improvement that we have to make, and I think the Ministry of Education is thinking of thinking on something to add in policy, or maybe trying to create a new way for the students to access the um, knowledge and also education. And this is for I don't know why I add this, but I think it's very important for us to know, because this thing is coming up from nowhere. Because I am scrolling the TikTok and this issue came in my TikTok, where it said that Malaysia tandus pakar forensik rungkai rahsia kes kematian. So actually, it's talking about in forensics field of forensics. Malaysian is actually having a difficulty because not so many students are not. There is no students from any institution. I don't think that there is. It is. I think cannot say that there are no one who take forensics. But I think we are lacking of this. Um, we are lacking of youngsters who take forensics. So this is important. What I want to highlight about this is actually um, um, as a future teacher, I think that Malaysian education systems can bring something new. I mean, try to give an equal information and opportunity to different fields. Because what I can see is that sometimes some of the field like forensics are not having um, the attention that they need. I mean, in terms of, I don't know, in terms of textbook or something like that. I know that this is hard because, yeah, when it's come to education, it's really really hard to think of a way to help the students um to to help the students to have equal opportunities, because actually the current issue of our education system is that not the policy, not the blueprint, not the content of the textbook, but it, it is the student itself. They tend to play more than learning, so this is very hard. And also, this is another article that I found that say based on Khazanah Socioeconomic Mobility report in 2016, 62% Malaysian children enjoy better education than their parents, which means that um, to compare these generations with the the old generations, this generation is actually having a better education than their parents. But only 37% hold better skill jobs, and only 35% enjoy better income. In fact, 15 of Malaysian children hold worse skill jobs than their parents. So, we as a teacher, we as the stakeholders, we as the parents, we as the adults, we must think of a way to make sure that these kind of challenges can be killed immediately, because it's really important. If having better education, if we are saying that the student is not having a better education, but there is a proof that there are many students who are being successful from the education itself. So I think it is not an excuse. There is a way. I think there is a way. But must brainstorm together to make sure these kind of problems can be killed as soon as possible. It must. And for the challenge and future directions, challenge in education reform include funding constraint, infrastructure development, and the need for continuous evaluation, adaptation of policies. Addressing these challenges requires collaboration between government, agencies, educators, and stakeholders. So we take as an example that the COVID-19 pandemic, who cannot, we will never forget these pandemics. But the importance is that it highlighted the importance of flexible learning models and the need for investment in digital infrastructure to ensure continuity of education during crisis. It also underscored the importance of teach training in online pedagogy. So it's actually showing that um, traditional pedagogy and also modern approaches is really important. Actually, pandemic COVID-19 pandemic is giving us a hard slap to the educators, to us as the teachers. Because before pandemic COVID-19, we are never paying attention of the importance of using Gmeet, using Zoom meeting and something like that. Because we're always thinking that textbook is our own resources. But after um, getting a slap from COVID-19, we realized that there are actually a lot of resources from YouTube, from Google, from a lot of online resources. And I think we as a future teachers, we as the educators, we as the adults, we must pay attention to this kind of thing, because in the future there is a lot of challenges and future challenges that we don't know, we cannot think of. But to make sure that we can hold these together, yes, we must know. We must think and brainstorm. So I think that is all for me. Um, Before we end, for the last slide, I am going to make some conclusions about our discussion today. Thank you. So for the last one, before before we go balik raya, just kidding, man, just kidding. In conclusions, what can I conclude is the discussion on the importance of education in fostering social mobility and economic growth, as well as the challenges facing the future of education, underscore the critical role that education actually plays in shaping individual life and society as a whole. Throughout this exploration, we have highlighted how education serves as a catalyst for upward mobility, offering individuals the opportunity to transcend socioeconomic barriers and unlock their full potential. Moreover, from our discussion, we have examined the pivotal role of education in driving economic growth and innovations, and also in emphasizing its significance in preparing individuals for the demands of the rapidly evolving global economy, especially in nowadays situations. By equipping students with this necessary knowledge, skills, and competencies, education not only enhance their employability but also foster entrepreneurship, creativity, and critical thinking, which is very essential for navigating the complexity of the modern world. However, as we reflect on discourse surrounding education, it's become evident that investing in education is not merely an expenditure, but It is a strategic investment. We must bear it in mind in human capital and societal progress pri- by prioritizing education. Government, policymakers, educators, and stakeholders can pave the way for a brighter and more prosperous future, where every individual has the opportunity to thrive and contribute meaningfully to society. So, in essence, education is the key to unlock doors of opportunity, empowering individuals to shape their destinies and driving positive change in the world. Let us therefore remain we as a future teachers, as the um, stakeholders, as the Minister of Education, the parents. We must committed to championing education as a fundamental human right and a cornerstone of social justice and economic development. For it is through education that we can truly build a better future for generations to come. I think that it's all from me. Ahmad Zaim Ahmad Zainal Abidin from Tesla One. Assalamualaikum and Selamat Hari Raya. Signing out.